Welcome back to Off the Record. People think when you move to Pattaya, you're running toward pleasure. But a lot of men, they're running toward peace, a break from the noise, a break from the stress, a chance to breathe for the first time in years. But here's the crazy part. Once they finally get the peace they prayed for, they don't know what to do with it. They get restless, uncomfortable, bored, not because anything is wrong, but because peace feels foreign when your whole life was built in chaos. This video is about that truth, the part nobody talks about, the part some men discover too late. The high of escaping. But here's something most men won't admit. A lot of what they call peace in the beginning is really just adrenaline wearing a different outfit. You think you're calm, but you're not calm. You're just distracted by novelty. Pattaya becomes your reset button, but not your grounding. And this is why so many men mistake escape for healing. They think leaving the country solved the problem, but all they really did was change the environment. Your mind is still catching up to your new life. Your habits are still rooted in the old life, and your emotions are still tied to the person you used to be. It's like moving to a new house, but unpacking none of your boxes. Looks peaceful on the outside, but inside, you're still cluttered. The overstimulation phase. Let me tell you something. Pattaya is paradise, but it's also a theme park. Everything is stimulation. The food, the women, the nightlife, the freedom, the pace, the convenience. And overstimulation feels good, right up until it turns into mental noise. A lot of men don't realize this, but overstimulation drains you the same way chaos does, just slower, softer, quieter. You ever notice how after a few months here, men stop taking pictures, stop going out as much, stop chasing the crazy nights because the dopamine hit is gone, not because Pattaya changed, but because your brain finally adjusted, and once it adjusts, peace becomes the next test. This is the point where men start asking, what do I do with myself now? What's my purpose? What's next? Most men aren't ready to answer that question. The empty calm. This is the part that separates the men who live here from the men who are just hiding here. When the excitement fades and the stimulation levels out, you're left with something scarier than chaos. Stillness. Stillness exposes loneliness. Stillness exposes wasted time. Stillness exposes lack of purpose. Stillness exposes who you are without noise around you. And here's where it gets deep. Some men realize that peace wasn't what they wanted. They wanted distraction that felt like peace. They wanted comfort, not clarity. They wanted silence, not self-awareness. That empty calm is the moment you ask yourself, do I like the man I am? When nothing is happening. Because most men like themselves in chaos. They're useful there. They have a role, a purpose, a problem to fix. But in peace, there's no script, no identity, no pressure telling you who to be. You have to define yourself all over again. That's why men panic in silence. When peace exposes you, peace puts a spotlight on all the things you pushed aside. That woman you never healed from, that dream you abandoned, that potential you wasted, that childhood trauma you never addressed, that identity you built around struggle, but never around happiness. Peace asks questions chaos never allowed. Who are you when nobody needs you? Who are you without the grind? What do you actually want? What do you actually fear? Who are you becoming here? And here's the truth. Most men don't have answers. So instead of sitting with those questions, they run. They run back to going out every night. They run back to dating for validation. They run back to drama. They run back to chaos. Because chaos makes you feel alive. But let me ask you something. Are you alive or just avoiding silence? That's the difference between peace and distraction. Building real peace, not entertainment. Real peace takes work. It's not a default setting. It's a discipline. To turn peace into power, you have to build systems that give your life meaning. a routine, a mission, a craft, a community, a purpose outside of pleasure. Real peace comes from waking up early, reading, getting sunlight, having a project, building something, improving your health, developing skills, helping people, growing spiritually, setting boundaries, creating value. Peace turns into strength when you build structure inside the freedom. Because without structure, freedom becomes chaos, and chaos becomes a slow death. You can't be in paradise without becoming a better man. You can't live in peace while living like a tourist. You can't build a future while clinging to comfort. To thrive here long term, you have to grow into the kind of man who doesn't need stimulation to feel alive. That's real peace. When peace becomes power. Here's the final truth about peace. Peace doesn't change you, it reveals you. If you feel bored, it's not because life is empty, it's because you haven't filled it. If peace feels uncomfortable, it's because your spirit isn't used to stillness. If quiet feels scary, it's because noise was your drug. Peace isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your real one. Once you master that, you become untouchable. A man who cannot be shaken, cannot be controlled, and cannot be broken. That's the real power of peace. This is off the record. Real talk. No filters, just truth. I'm gone.